Report suspicious activity and call 911 for immediate response.
Turn off the TV, it's starting to freak me out. It's so loud, it's like my ears are bleeding. What am I feeling? Can't look at the ceiling. The light is so bright, it's like I'm overheating. This mind isn't mine. Who am I to judge? Oh, I should be fine, but it's all too much. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety keeps me silent. When I try to speak, what's come over me feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed. These spaces, I don't know what space is. Grounds are shut down, I'm overstimulated. Nobody gets it, say I'm just sensitive. I can't listen cause I'm in the exits. This mind isn't mine. Who am I to judge? Oh, I should be fine, but it's all too much. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety keeps me silent. When I try to speak, what's come over me feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed.
Suspicious activity and call 911 for immediate response.
Hello, hello, is this working? Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Hello, just making sure everything's set and working properly. Hello. So, yeah, that was a pretty long stream last time. We spent a very long time, but we managed to finish the game. So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, we did end very, very late. I've been like carrying over the, not like my sleep schedule is still a little bit weird from that last stream, but it's fine. Good thing is I haven't had a lot of stuff to do this week because yeah, I mean not at least not much work-related stuff. Hey Dolphink, hello, how are you doing? Krieger, hi, how's it going? So yeah, honestly, today I don't have a very big idea of what to do. What I've been thinking is we could spend some time looking at stuff. We could check out, yeah, Dolphin shared in Discord a short film that I like very much called Gruff. We can take a look at that. So I really like the style, and there's also, I remember that the channel has a lot of behind the scenes too, so we could have spent some time looking at that, and it's a very, very interesting project. I think that would be fun. And if you have anything else to show or share, we could also talk about other stuff, and I don't know, just have pretty much a sort of a relaxed stream. Tomorrow we can spend some time animating, and I've already sort of tried to set up, but I'm not exactly sure what time are we gonna be starting. Probably a little bit later than usual, but maybe this time we'll be able to actually stream both Saturday and Sunday. So even if we don't start as early as before, we might be able anyway to animate more finally this weekend. But yeah, that's pretty much what we could do today. But any other suggestions could be accepted. But yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff. I couldn't think of anything special for tonight. So, but I think that sounds like a plan. So I'm just gonna wait up a little bit, see if anyone else manages to join in. I was going to add the invite for... Sounds like a plan. Cool. I was going to add the invite here. And just if someone new is around, they can join. Okay. There it is. I'm glad to see that chat is working good enough. I've had it like... I don't know, I'm still trying to sort out how the chat works and how to keep it on screen, have it work properly, but it seems like it's working alright. So... yeah, I mean, step by step I feel like we're starting to get the hang of all of this stuff. I feel like it's interesting. My experience with streaming has been quite interesting because it's not like it's very complicated. Doesn't feel like rocket science, but it feels like an overwhelming amount of very small and simple tasks. All of this, like, yeah, setting up the chat and having the avatar, having it move properly, setting the OBS in, all that stuff. It's been fun. I've liked it. Hey, Robot, hello. How are you doing? Good to see you. I know probably typing that took you a very long time and a lot of effort, so hello, and I'm glad you're here. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been thinking about we could do today, and I guess we could, yeah, just simply get right into it. If we have some extra time, I could also share with you the not music, I'm just got hooked with the song. I remember this one. But I could show you other shorts and ads and, fun stop motion projects that I know. There was another one that I shared with you last time that we didn't get to see, which is one that I like a lot. That's the David O'Reilly animation. So we could do that ASMR stream idea. That could be fun, but I don't know, maybe it could... Maybe we could put that as some sort of sub-goal. We can make an ASMR stream when we get to a certain number of subscribers. I'm not sure. Your phone is dead. You're on an ancient laptop that has been heavily rigged. Oh, so... oh god. Seems like your stuff keeps crumbling down. Hopefully... yeah, sorry to hear that, I guess. Hope it gets better eventually. Oh, did you end up looking up the visuals for Non-Robot World? Oh no, I didn't. We could also take a look at that. I mean, I could just find the Let's Play. Do we see Phase VLE maybe? I guess we could do that. That way we help each other out or something. Yeah, we could do that too. Alright, so let's get to it then. Let's just quickly start with... Let's start with graphics. I really like that. So yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I guess I'm gonna have to do the fair use rules stuff and just pause every now and then. It's not very much my style because I like to watch the whole thing and then comment on it, but I guess it's the way it has to be done if we don't want to keep getting blasted by YouTube. But if you want to see the whole thing that's been in the Discord for a while, you could take a look, or you could later on see the whole thing like straight in one sitting. But yeah, this is a very cool short called Gruff. It's really, really fun. That's a very interesting thing because it's not actually stop motion. I think it has a couple of stop motion elements. Let me pause. My allegiance. I don't know the lyrics to that one, but I like it. But yeah, so it's made mostly with paper sort of puppets, and it's done more in live action rather than animating in stop motion. I think there are a couple of elements that are actually done in stop motion, but it's more towards it's closer to a it's closer to I don't know, to a Muppet show or something. It's a very interesting thing. I like it a lot. So let's have a look. And let me check the chat rule. And destitute makes life easy and difficult to see. All right. I don't even know what the word destitute means. I'll find out eventually. But okay, so let's watch the short real quick. So I'm gonna unmute this because we had some ads running. That's why we got it muted. Hey Roman, how's it going? we're gonna watch the short that Delphink sent to the Discord. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's called Gruff. It's really fun because it's sort of a puppet, but not stop motion puppets. It's more like live action marionettes sort of thing, and it's a very interesting art style and look. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, I'm still in my main window. Let me go to this one. Oh, all right, fun. I'm still figuring stuff out. Let me just put a little something so you can actually see the chat, because right now it's transparent, so it's a little bit hard to read. So let me get that set. One of the other things that I'm still in the need to figure out. So yeah, whenever I change stuff, the chat resets, but it should be showing. See it when it came out because it followed the creator on Instagram. Yes, I did the same thing. I didn't follow him in Instagram, but I did follow him in YouTube. And I remember he posted a lot of shorts of all the process and how he was doing it. And yeah, it's really good. I really love that. Even the story is really interesting and cool. All right, so let's take a quick look. Same thing, we're gonna be doing the usual pausing every couple of seconds because fair use and whatever. But yeah, I'll try to make it as enjoyable as possible. So yeah, let's take a look. Let me know if the audio is fine.
Rugged, unyielding, and impenetrable. These are the good people of Olden Town, hewn from the harshness of an unforgiving land and less forgiving times. They are Gruff. Previously on Gruff. Trapped in the clutches of the bandit pistolero, Darling Bonita awaits rescue, while the people of Olden Town plead with their fearless protector for hope.
All this quiet and brooding ain't bringing our Bonita back. We need a plan.
Now, don't you worry, little miss. Elmore's more the strong, silent type. Lets the guns do the talking.
But in their moment of need, El Mayor did the unthinkable, the unpredictable, the absolutely unexpected.
I mean, for starters, it's very interesting just having the, I don't know, usually, yeah, the audio is very, the audio in general is good, but I feel like it's unusual that short films have this quality of voice acting and audio, but that also, yeah, it's something that impressed me a lot, because there are like a lot of very good projects that have very good artistic style and that sort of thing. But usually, I feel like animators tend to leave audio behind. They don't give it that much priority, or usually they already run out of budget, so they don't have anything to left to do for the audio. And this one's really, it feels like a very complete whole project. But something I find very interesting is that actually I feel that whatever we see inside the show Gruff itself, it has a little bit more of, I skipped. A little bit more of the stop motion feel. So it's not fully animated like puppets. It's actually just like cutting fast between one pose and the other. I wouldn't say it's even fully animated. It feels like a stop motion animatic, but still it has a couple of really interesting, really cool, that are pretty much silent films, maybe. Yeah, also because animation, you know, I think the general reason why most of short films and that sort of thing that you find out there that's made independently and that sort of thing, they usually don't have voice acting, because it blasts the budget away, not only because you need to pay like an actor and a studio to record it and all that stuff, but also you need to pay, you need to spend extra, very valuable animation hours on lip sync. And lip sync plus expression can get very, very complicated very quickly. It's like those sort of things that, yeah, it can make stuff very hard. And that's why whenever you see like student films and that sort of thing made with stop motion, this kind of stuff, it's usually characters without a mouth or with masks, that sort of thing, because those sort of abstractions help you not needing to do any lip sync. And maybe they could even still talk beneath the mask, and you're saving a lot of trouble. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've struggled a lot with Evil too, like just having her mouths I believe I've spent more than 2 full weeks, around 2 full weeks of time in total working in all the mouths, and I still feel like my lip sync range is very, very small. Lots of good artists, voice actors, musicians, sound engineers, that want to do a thing, but didn't go to school for it. Yeah, but it's not really about the school. I'm just saying student projects because it's just like a common occurrence. But generally, indie projects end up having to struggle with technical stuff that they cannot fully commit to, like a complete, very. Oh, I just noticed that the chat is a little bit up. Further up than it should, but I can change it later. But yeah, animation. This sort of projects end up having to struggle a lot with the limitations they have because, yeah, people run out of budget, or mostly they run out of time. Time is very, very demanding when working in film, and it's even worse when working in animation. And when you add audio, like professional audio, instead of simply using, template music or whichever thing makes your life easier, yeah, things stack up very quickly. And if you don't manage to schedule everything properly or budget everything properly, things can run off the rails very, very quickly. However, this project, it did take a long time, but it feels very whole, very complete, it doesn't feel like it's missing anything that isn't allowing it to express, to make the artistic expression that the creator wanted. That's something I feel. And that's very hard, especially if you're trying out sort of inventing a new technique. Let me see. I'm just going to move really quickly the chat because this is annoying me a little bit. There we go. Zoomed out shot. That reminds me, I was watching a thing on making Land Before Time, and the key moment was done as a zoomed out shot. So with mouth movement, and yes, it's something that they did a lot, especially in the early days of CGI. I think they also did it in Lord of the Rings and stuff. When you have this very big armies with thousands of orcs and warriors, that sort of stuff, if you do a very, very, very long shot, you don't really need to make every single detail. You can make it very abstract. Or, I think it was in Star Wars, like in the Phantom Menace or something, and the stadium. Not sure if it wasn't Phantom Menace, but I remember it was some sort of stadium, and instead of fully making characters, they made like very simple. I'm not sure if that was physical, and it was more like cardboard cutouts, but they felt like a crowd because they were just very tiny in a very big stage, and just by blowing the wind, they moved enough so it would feel like the crowd was alive and all that stuff. Yeah, it's interesting finding all those tricks, but it's also like a little bit. It's very noticeable once you've seen enough projects of various different like levels of production. But I feel like this one is very impressive, but it doesn't feel. Well, I don't believe it really is like a project funded like by a Hollywood studio or something. It's like an independent project, but it was very well executed all around the spectrum, with the audio, with puppets, with colors. Yes, time is always a problem. Yes, time is very much a huge struggle with any sort of project. It's very. It can get very, very crazy if you try to, when time starts flying out of your hands. So yeah, let's switch
For hope.
All this quiet and brooding ain't bringing our bonita.
Need. El Mayor did the unthinkable, the unpredictable, the absolutely unexpected, and addressed the people of Olden Town. I will meet.
They're like those very simple movements. Also look at that contrast. Like you see the character who only moves by simply snapping from one frame to the other and maybe opening the mouth. It's not even like open close, it's just open. It's like a comic book. It's like a cinematographic comic book. And then you have this crash with reality with the young girl just popping into frame, and it's very fun because it shows you, it really introduces you the world itself. Because if you start the short film and you don't know nothing about this because you haven't seen any of the shorts or the making ofs that they've made and all that stuff, you would assume that the whole story will be in this very simple cutout style that just snaps from one point to the other. And I feel like that would be okay. It's still like very cool aesthetic, and I feel like the story would tell itself pretty good like that. But the breaking in of the character, and it's like, I don't know, it throws you off and makes you feel like, oh, so it's much more elaborated. Like the real world is much more elaborated than what I've just seen, no? And yeah, you get
An
this
address.
start of
The people of Olden Town.
the real movement, and now you understand how the real world in this universe feels and moves, and it's much more interesting than the other one. It almost feels impossible. Like, how is it moving?
I
Because it's
will
puppetry.
but I must.
This is for you.
Ah, yes.
Pretty, and this lousy town. That ought to wake him up.
Oh, my arm will find a way to rescue me.
The shirt's not just your great grandpa's TV show. Yeah. Yeah, just like, this is the real world. And just look at that introduction of how, so it shows you like all the range of movement and how stuff works. And it's also very intriguing. Like most of it, this whole short feels like a magic trick, where most of the time, even if you've seen the making of it, it's hard to think while you're looking at it, like, how does it move this way? How isn't that there's not a hand back there controlling it, because I don't see a shadow here or anything. It feels clean, it feels pretty. And yeah, the complexity of those movements, like, because you would assume that, okay, so if that's the style here, it will mostly be like very 2D movements. Imagine the TV was paper characters and the real world was puppets. Yeah. And that's something very cool. It's like, I think there was another show that did sort of the same thing, where like everything that the characters watched on TV was, I think it was Deltarune. And in Deltarune, it's not actually, well, it is TV, but it isn't. Like, the game characters playing a video game play a very abstract and more simplified version of the characters, but at the same time they are very simple characters outside of the screen, and it's a very meta experience. But yeah, so this starts and you feel like there will be a limitation in the movement, especially in the first shot, right? It's like, okay, so these characters are just gonna move in this sort of 2D-ish way, and that's it. That's the limitation of the technique. But at the same time, you get this, and you start to see this really cool. It's very subtle, but the movement of the head with a little bit more of three-dimensionality feels very, very interesting, very cool. And it also has a little bit of storytelling, because you have like a fairly good dad who's sort of bonding with her kid, but at the same time keeps this distance, right? So he's trying to bond with her daughter, but at the same time he cannot get glued off his screen, and that's pretty much the core of the story, right? It's the pain of the daughter, who is very accomplished and is very good at what she does and all that stuff, but his dad feels like sometimes like he's been lost inside the world of his TV show. And even though it's not maybe the worst thing in the world, it still stings and feels it's hard to deal with, I guess. When I first saw this short, I suspected heavy CG use. I think there is a little bit of CG use. I think both the lip sync is also done with CG-ish, because they're actually drawn on paper, but then they're composited. And yeah, it is like those 2.5 VTuber models. You know, it's also very interesting, because I feel like the techniques of this show is something, even though VTubers do it mostly with full 2D assets, but feels like the technique could feed from. It feels like two branches that could feed and learn from each other in order to improve. It's a very interesting point you make. That this is very much like VTuber models. Even though the other interesting thing is that many models have to be made from scratch. Like I'm pretty sure this model was made exactly for this shot where she's crossing her legs on top of the chair and she has her elbow resting on her knee, and they would have to make, I don't know, like dozens of different poses, and they are completely different puppets, even though they might be able to reuse one or two assets like the head, the torso, or the crown. But yeah, those legs, they most likely were made specifically for this shot.
That ought to wake him up.
Oh, my will find a way to
Yeah, like all of those seem like different puppets, or at least different assets. Because one is looking forward and one is looking sideways, and those are completely different bodies. This is not a three-dimensional body that can be rotated. It has to flip from one to the other. The feet, they're completely different feet. These ones have the shape of the tippy toes, and these ones are flatter, on more grounded feet. But even so, you've got like one feet looking to the side and one feet looking to the front, and this feet cannot be used for anything else than what it's being used right now. If you want to do this, you need to make a new fit and put it here, and you might need to make another feet for this one to twist it to the other side. So a lot of irrepeatable assets.
By the sling of...
Yeah, also those little effects where the finger... I like those moments when it breaks the standard two dimensions of a usual like After Effects sort of 2D movie. Here you have a little bit of three-dimensionality with the finger going up and down on the controller, and it's really cool.
By the sling of his slang. And El Mario ain't got any slang.
Bo, breakfast.
Mommy, why won't Abuela play with me?
Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time.
So here it feels like it's a little bit of CG, but I think the CG is mostly... I'm not sure if the head tilt has any CG, but the mouth is a little bit telling because it's very smooth. Yeah, look at this. Very smooth, 24 frames a second. You can see the lip slowly moving up and down.
There was a super spy.
I don't know if the head movement is 3D too. VTuber models are really interesting. The rigging is insane. Yeah, I've seen that. It's very, very interesting. I would like to learn a little bit about it eventually. Because I know my fair share about rigging 3D models, but rigging and some basics of rigging 2D models, not fully for VTubers, but for like, you know, very simple infographic, After Effects sort of things. Like all those ads of, there's a name for the horrible like Eldritch art style that every corporation uses. It's called Corporate Memphis, I think. But yes, like sort of those very simple corporate Memphis animations. And so I feel like I might know enough to understand it without getting fully lost, but it's not something that I feel like I could fully make a VTuber model in one single sitting. But I feel like I could be able to learn it because I already understand most of the basic concepts. So I think it would be interesting to get into 2D modeling and 2D rigging someday. Maybe I could try that out.
Who wasn't scared of anything.
That's something I like also a lot, that there's a lot of live action shots where the assets are just in place. For starters, like the movement downwards of the camera, it feels organic. It doesn't feel very automatic. It feels like it's just moving, and here it feels even like the camera was held. It feels like a handheld camera. You can see it's think you'd rig a VTuber model like a pro. I think I would do all right. I feel like I could do something by myself. I'm not sure. It depends on where your bar of a pro is, but I'm pretty sure I could make something interesting, most likely. I'll eventually do it. It'll be fun. But we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, look at how it feels like, you know,
Super spy
it feels like a
who wasn't
handheld
scared
camera.
of
There's a little
anything.
bit of noise and movement, and I'm not sure how this is made, but it's most likely live action, not simulated. It's just a hand carrying and then just... Yeah, because the movement in this, the thing, if you're making something with live action, I feel like your movement, or well, with a live action moving camera, your movement of your characters will be very limited or very hard to pull off. And I feel like that's why this shot has very simple, very minimal movement. It's just the body moving down, but the cool thing is that the light on the sort of leathery or rubbery surface of the clothes is enough to give it a little bit of life, so that it feels like there's movement and there's three-dimensionality.
But hated quiet. So she found ways to...
And yeah, look at that, a very cool shot without any movement, but you have this. I feel like this one feels a little bit more like an automatic movement of the camera. So that was pulled off with some sort of device or rig, like an automatic motor that's moving forward. But at the same time, you have this very cool use of light that's probably made... I'm not sure if this was made in live action or not, but it feels like...
So she found
Maybe it's
ways to
automatic
fill
or stop motion-y, but yeah, because here the light feels a little bit more organic. You can see it move like a little bit less controlled way. And it's a lot of fast cuts, but remember, every single one of these shots need to be of new, pretty much a new model from scratch. Like leg extended for the kick, and then
So
the
she
legs
found ways
folded
to
inwards
fill
for
it.
the it's called a headlock. Yeah, that's another one, and this is a different leg extension for this kick, and the characters also need to have their own model. I like this one. It feels more three-dimensional. I'm not sure if it is, but it feels like his head is actually a full cube that is rotated and not like it's just a simple flat face made specifically for this angle of the camera. The bike's amazing. Like the work, the craftsmanship on making this bike all out of cutouts and like tin foil, or I'm not sure what he did for all the metallic parts, but it feels great. And this must be incredibly hard to pull off. If all of these angles require a different bike, you got your top-down bike, your slightly three-quarters bike, and your sideways bike. That also seems like a lot of work. It's insane. I think this bike is actually a maquette.
But her
And there you have like playing with some real smoke. I'm not sure how they made this like in a controlled way, or maybe it's just a composite of
favorite
smoke
sound
acid, but it still feels
was
cool, and it doesn't jump as much when you have this sort of live action elements, because these puppets actually move at the same frame rate. Oh, I've just muted this.
But her favorite sound was applause.
I like that. I don't know, the changing of the scenes really quickly. I think that's also something that shows between the technique and what they do, is that because it's so hard to make every single character from scratch and stuff, they would end up trying to make the story as concise as possible so that you need the least amount of puppets. And even
And the
though
one
it's still like a lot of puppets because you need many characters.
But her
you need to make
favorite
them clap
sound
and all that stuff. But you're
was-
trying to save on making puppets for her. You use the same
Pause.
outfit, but you'll have a different outfit in the next scene. I'm not sure if it's using another one in the next scene.
And-
It's a similar one, but still, you changed from a front view to a side view, so you need to make it all from scratch.
the
pretty
one she
much.
needed it from the most.
An impenetrable.
Super Spy saved hundreds.
These are the good
Was her
people of
papa?
Old Town.
That movement of the head did feel a little bit digital. I'm not
The
sure.
harshness of an unforgiving land, unless forgiving.
And that movement, that's very complex. I'm not exactly sure how they pulled off like that
The most?
movement of the wrist from the newspaper to the
Was her
hand.
papa?
Hewn from the harshness of an
This is very elaborate. I'd like to know how this was rigged. There's something here, but I think it's just a patch in the puppet himself. He's got a little patch in his elbow, maybe?
unless forgiving time.
That's as close as it got.
They are gruff.
So the super spy lived louder. And louder.
Look at those assets. Making this and having lights behind your prop and controlling the light and having it show the way you want it to be, especially when this is very small, it's kind of hard. So that there's not like red light coming from this that's spilling too much in the hand, that sort of thing. You still have it like reflecting over here in the panel, but
Just so her favorite person would say a little more than
those quick scene changes were really good for the pacing. Yeah, it helps a lot with the pacing and the telling of the story very quickly. And I like that. I really like that the story is not about what happens outside the living room. You know, it's like it's part of what she is saying. All right, she might be saving the world out there and meeting the president or whatever out there, but that's just like a little flash for her. It doesn't really matter to her because what actually matters to her is this household moments, which still feel incomplete because of how distant his father tends to be, even though he's not so many assets for more than a second of yeah, like they're very short shots. I think the one that freaks me out the most is the first one when they were clapping at. I mean, this one, well, this one's also complicated too. It's got many characters and a very complex set and stuff, and also this one you have a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different characters. The set's a little bit simpler, but all of these characters feel like have like complex designs and they feel like they have personalities and lives to them. They don't feel like generic extras, you know? But yeah, so all of these are simple flashes, but it's like the place where the time really matters is in here. It's really cool. And yeah,
But he didn't.
I love the conflict because it's not something, I don't know, there's no malice here. His father is not, he might be a little bit negligent, but not to a terrible point. Like, I mean, he could be sort of he could simply not be part of the life of his daughter, but that's not the kind of person that he is, but he's still very distant. He's a very sort of isolated person who seems like doesn't care a lot about many things. And I think the story is what it might feel like he doesn't care about his daughter, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe he just doesn't express it in the same way she wants it to be expressed towards her. And that's the source of the conflict, which is a very innocent, very close, like very real source of conflict that has nothing to do with being evil or abusive or having like an intrinsic desire to cause pain in someone else. It's much more subtle. It's really, really cool. It's a very good story with he's acknowledging her achievements just with an extreme end of soul. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he doesn't care. He watches the picture, he watches the newspaper, and he is proud, but he just doesn't seem to care in the eyes of her because she's expecting more of him. But it feels like he's giving all he has to give.
So they talked less.
Look at that. That scene is incredible. And also, the way the scene transitions is really cool. I'm not sure if this was actually... No, it feels like a transition. But like just having the camera move down and you have the other set. But this set's incredible. Also a bunch of characters. It feels very interesting. Very nice colors, composition. Her dress is incredible. You have characters with different textures, like this slightly glossy bit of paper and more of a sparkly one over here, and sort of thing. It's really cool. Smoke coming out of the cigarette.
Endless. Till one day, all that quiet.
This shot's also really cool. I love the incredibly reflective floor. You can even see her in the reflection, and it makes it feel infinite with the buildings in the back. This is a beautiful shot.
It caught up to them.
And yeah, like everything else back there, like the casino and all that stuff, it's quick, it's snappy, it doesn't really matter. What matters is family, and they're struggling, but yet part of their life's relationship. It calms down and you see it still. Look at that, very calm, it's a painfully long shot. At least in the context of what we've seen up until now, where everything has been fast. Even the shots we saw before of the kid playing and her trying to impress the dad. Still, this one, it's like a painfully long shot for us to digest what's going on and trying to grasp the consequences and the sadness. Yes, it's just painful. I just want the shot to end because it feels like painful to watch. But it's a good thing. It's like part of what makes the story good.
If we can take a look at the touchdown, Will.
It's very good acting. Just very simple, very slow. I'm not sure. I've never tried to work with this sort of cardboard puppet, but it feels like making those sorts of subtle, sad movements with the head must take a lot of skill, I feel, to actually pull it off without feeling like too much.
People of Olden Town stand behind their protector, waiting for his
Just a very slow twist of the head.
word.
I see you ain't got my gold.
Now we'll get back to the show.
So what'll it be by your pistola fight or the old silent treatment?
I vow to lay down my arms forever for the return of this innocent.
I ain't got the words to grace my oar without be stolen.
Also, getting to use the eyes in such a way, it feels like it's something that I feel like I could pull with stop motion puppet, with a live action puppet. I don't even know how this works in order to keep correcting the line of sight while you're closing the eye.
Without these doubles, your channel will be watching.
Like that. Yeah. It feels slightly digital to me. I'm not sure. I love this. Like the natural movement of the paper made it feel. Is it moving? Yeah, it's moving. It's just a very high frame rate. So the natural tension of the paper makes it feel like it's gently grabbing the hand, like it feels fleshy and soft. Because the fingers move separately. Like look at how this one stays behind and then this one moves slightly down. It feels so nice. You can feel the touch. Very soft, very gentle. It's a very cool effect that it's just natural. I don't feel like there's any trickery behind this. It's just property of the material being taken to its advantage.
After that, the quiet didn't seem so quiet. In fact,
that's very heartwarming. It's like they simply learn to understand that they express a little bit differently.
It never seemed fuller.
That's enough. That shot's really good. Like the movement of the camera makes it feel really, really nice with the background moving in the other direction. Like, it plays really nicely with the parallax. Makes the shot really, really pretty. This one too, but I feel like the frosted glass was closer than the other one, so it made it much readable, much more readable. But
people don't say the things we want.
Here too. Yeah, here's the same trick of having the hand gently lay on top, and you can see even the defects of the paper still feel cool. Like here the hand, it's like this finger got stuck slightly and then it releases a little bit quickly.
People don't say the things we want.
But it adds texture and it feels cool.
And some people don't say much at all. But when
I honestly feel like if she's a super agent that has saved the world and has been with the president, she should be able to afford a bigger house, but maybe it was out of the budget.
you run from the quiet, you might miss what they've been saying all along.
The voice acting is incredible too. Yes, it's really, really good. Lots of stuff that just sounds like reading. Yeah, there's a lot of that out there.
But when you run from the quiet,
yeah, this feels like. Yeah, it doesn't feel like she's reading. It feels like she lived this. She's gone through this. And the way she tells it,
in fact,
yeah,
it never seemed fuller. Some people don't say the things we want. And some people don't say much at all. But when you run from the quiet, you might miss what they've been saying all along.
There's the same. I feel like this feels like something that they found out along the way. Like, hey, this sort of hand movements very naturally work with the technique itself, and it feels like, hey, how do we take advantage of this, and we can even write the whole story around this sort of hand movements, very simple but very natural hand movements that occur because of the way we want to tell the story. I don't know, it feels like sort of an egg or the chicken situation where I'm not even sure what came first, but they've used it, like this is the third or fourth time that they've used it. Okay, also with the hands of the dad works really well. You can see the bend in the paper.
What was the
Stretching
dad say?
and extending. Maybe Super Spy got to blend in and see. Maybe she wanted to blend in and not have like a very big house. You might be right
Into
there.
the Super Spy.
Yeah, I feel like the mouths are the only thing that gives it away a little bit. I think
What was the
that
dad's?
they could have, instead of doing the blend between one frame and the other,
The Super
the mouths, I honestly think they would have worked better if they simply snapped from one into the other. You can do that like in a 12 frames per second and it will still feel very organic, very clean. Like, and it still feels like very smooth lip sync. You don't really need to pull that much of a 24 frames per second and in betweening every single mouth shape. Usually, mouth shapes in particular work really well when you just go straight for the letter, because our mouth is very, very fast. If you try to record a video of you speaking, you'll see that it's actually, there's almost no time between one mouth shape and the other. It's just goes straight into it, because we speak with, like, there are many different sounds that we make in a very, very short amount of time.
Spy.
Some things don't have words, so we have to be close.
Also, another thing that feels a little bit weird, for example, here, having the teeth move without the lip, it feels unnatural. That's something that can't be done. You cannot move your teeth. You move your jaw. And if you move your jaw, you're pulling your teeth too. If you wanted to do something similar to this, you would have to open your jaw while you move your lip up trying to do it. And then it's really hard and crashing. But that's only, I mean, not trying to be mean or anything, but it's like a little detail that I think sort of throws me a little bit off with
Close enough
the lip sync here.
to feel them.
Think again, senorita. I could tell the measure of a man by the
Really
sling of
pretty
his
story. And I find it interesting that they didn't tell this story as it was happening. It's more of a story, and it's not a story it's a story that already happened, and they're sort of retelling it. And that's also interesting because sort of you already know things are gonna work out, but that's not the important part. The important part is how they as family handled the stuff, and how now it's something that she shares with her daughter, because now she does not understand her grandpa, right? Paper probably makes for pretty resilient puppets. Maybe. I guess. I think they would last a long time, especially because they're designed for one single thing. And I feel like they would do that single thing very well. Like this one will unfold her elbow and rotate the head and all that stuff, and it's not very hard. Well, it's not very hard because this puppet was made exactly for that. And but it's still very fragile, but the good thing is that because you're not twisting it, because you're not moving it, I feel like it will not break that easily. You just need to keep using it exactly for what you designed it to do, and it feels like it would, yeah, pretty much last for a long time.
by the sling of his slang. And Elmire ain't got any slang to sling.
Mama says the measure of a man's in his doing, not his saying.
Anybody says sayings don't matter. Ain't got nothing to matter for saying.
even though the TV was always there. I don't think it was. I feel like Dad still cared a lot because he had every single picture, every single achievement out there. It's just like, yeah, he'll cherished every single moment, even though it might not have seemed like that for normal people because it wasn't ever expressed in a normal way, but it was still there. Like all of those little details, all of those memories, they are there and they're cherished. Find it funny that they blur her face but still put like a giant picture in the newspaper. This feels like completely contradictory. It's like, if you want to keep her a secret, why would you put her on a newspaper? It's very, I don't know, it's something very silly. Tilt up of the head, I love it. Look at that. It's also very clear. Can I see the frame rate in this thing? I'm going for 24 frames a second, but it's very smooth. Like movements are very, very slow when I try to frame by frame them. Look at that. I love the little glow in her belt. It's the only reflective part in her dress. And it gives a really nice sense of movement, trajectory, and even a little bit of torsion. Like it feels like she is rotating her waist just a little bit, and it feels like walking, like real walking. I don't know why this gets me, but seeing the actual fold of the paper, because in all of the other ones it's like subtle, doesn't feel, but here it's given away the technique itself, you know? It's sort of, I'm breaking the aesthetic of my world. I'm sort of breaking the illusion, but I'm willing to do it because this moment's more important than having sort of this defect of my craft show through. It's much more important to actually have this interaction and this contact between the hands feel so present that doesn't matter that it might feel like the hand is bending and sort of distorting a little bit. You can see the wrinkles, and it's not like a normal skin fold in the hand. It shows that it's paper. It's just simply doesn't matter. The moment is more important. It's much more important than the technique, and it's taking over, and it doesn't care. And it's like, this is what needs to be done to tell the story, and I don't care if you notice this, because I believe that the story is strong enough that you're not gonna be thinking about this at all while you're looking at it. Yeah. Oh, God. And that's just without saying the whole emotional meaning behind all of this. Oh, look, we do have emotes in this chat. Huh. Oh, well, no, that's not emote, right? It's an emoji. All right, whatever. But yeah, they are pretty much mimicking the way that Grandpa shared stuff with them. And yeah, it's like very valuable, like that moment of silence, straight up human contact. It says more than words. And it's much more comforting, I believe, in the sort of sad but most of the times unavoidable moments.
And we'll be wiping the map in a month.
I have mi pueblo, mi familia, and they are strong in ways I am not. In ways you have yet to witness. That'll do it.
I don't know what I'd do without
Yeah, they're, I don't know, really cool. Going back to our fantasy stop motion, very simple and very silly, and it shows like a side that we hadn't even seen. I feel like it felt like a very serious show when we were watching. I mean, serious. It felt corny, but never showed the sort of comedic side when in all the other sections we saw. And now we get like this little bit of comedy, silly, Looney Tunes even style of this guy running away, just like dashing out, like you know, like those sort of Looney Tunes leaving a little puff of smoke and just running.
I don't know what I'd do without my oar.
Neither do I, Bonita. We're lucky he looks out for us.
And I always will.
And of course, the main character since the beginning has a painful resemblance to the grandpa. So now that he's gone, it's extra painful to watch him speak to the audience and back to his family through the TV somehow. It just wraps up so brutally. I like the effect of making the eyes slightly more glossy, just so it feels like she's holding back a couple of tears there. Yeah, this thing is amazing. I really hope they're making something else with this technique, because it feels, it's really cool, it's incredible. The owners who made this film, was this movie in Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that? I don't remember, honestly. Memory of Thomas Goody. So it's also like a family story, which makes it even more, not painful, but I don't know, it hits harder. It's a really good story. Very, very, very well told, very clean, very pretty. And an amazing, yeah, the craftsmanship's just stunning. I really hope, because this feels like, you know, it's really good and it can only get better, because just like, don't forget to like and leave a comment. Yeah, you're right, I didn't have this account back when I first watched this video, so I definitely should. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. And what could we leave as a comment? Let's see, amazing story. hope to see more of this art style. Future. Sure, let's put something like that. Or Abuelo as an actor and always wanted to be a hero. Good writing is open door. Yeah, you're right. They never tell you a lot about Abuelo's own life. They don't tell you the part where he is just like there hanging and watching TV. No, let's watch because they have a lot of... Oh wait, they made like a short from the... like from inside the show? Blah. Don't make... Ignore the ad.
Rugged, unyielding.
So I guess this is just
impenetrable.
The show itself.
These are the good people of Olden.
In color, in full color, and because it seems like the same footage.
Of an unforgiving land.
Looks so nice with color. And yeah, even his mustache and everything's the same color as the Abuelos.
In less forgiving times, they are gruff. Previously on Gruff, trapped in the clutches of the bandit pistolero.
This shot is one that I also love. Like, it has the very organic moving camera. Like, it's
previously
like
on Gruff,
very simple handheld camera.
Trapped in the clutches of the
Even
bandit
like how the zoom in feels. It feels. How do you say it? It's not like it's fake, but it has the same feeling of like a very forced, very quick zoom in made with a camera.
Pistolero, darling.
They even lose focus a little bit before. Yeah, blurry, 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 and then back to focus.
Bonita awaits rescue, while the people of Olden Town plead with their fearless protector for hope.
All this quiet and brooding ain't bringing our Bonita back. We need a plan.
It's really weird looking at them in color. Like a lot of very simple, very like the same color palette of browns and what's that? Sort of sienna sort of colors.
Now, don't you worry, little miss. Elmore's more the strong, silent type. Lets the guns do the talking.
And yeah, also the whole story. It's really cool because it feels like the story relates very closely to the life of the old man and how he doesn't really feel like he learned what he did from the show, but maybe it just feels like he related a lot to the show because he never got his way around with words. Sure. You'll DM me. Robot's gonna DM me about ads.
But in their moment of need, El Mayor did the unthinkable, the unpredictable, the absolutely unexpected.
How is this done? And this works great because of the shadow of the hat. It feels like a completely different face, but it's just the light popping in. Boop, 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 boop. I'm not sure. It feels like mostly maybe the face wasn't really tilted, but only the hat was tilted, and the face was moved upwards. like those tricks
and
here.
addressed the people of Olden Town.
I will meet the pistolero, but I must not be alone.
Didn't your mama tell you kidnapping's a certain sort of impolite?
Quiet now.
I like how relaxed the kid is. Like, she's been kidnapped, but she doesn't really seem to care. It's like, you know, you shouldn't be doing. You know, you shouldn't be doing this, right?
Quiet now. Once I got my gold, I'll be ready here. And this lousy town. That ought to wake him up.
El Mayor will find a way to rescue me. You'll see.
Think again, senorita. I could tell the measure of a man by the sling of his slang. And El Mayor ain't got any slang to sling.
Mama says the measure of a man's in his doings, not his sayings.
Yeah, this also wraps back to. Yeah, I don't know. It's also a very interesting egg and chicken sort of thing. That if she gets kidnapped every episode, she's probably chill about it. Yeah, she's already knows everything's gonna be right in the end.
Anybody says sayings don't matter.
But yeah, I love how the story wraps to the other story, and I don't know. It's very cool. I have this sort of great question out there that I'm not sure if the show influenced the grandpa to be the way he is, or if he is how he is and just connected a lot with the show because of the way it portrays its message of it's not really important to use a lot of words if your actions speak by themselves, that sort of thing. And I don't know. It makes me understand why that old man would be very much in love with the show, because it's helped him. It made him feel, I don't know, valid in being the way he was, and that's really, I don't know, it's really cool, really pretty.
Ain't got nothing the matter worth saying. Now hush.
And I mean, look at this. It's like a full short film that had to be done just to be in a tiny gray screen in most of the shots of the film, of the short film. I mean, it's 4 minutes long. It's almost half of what the whole other short is.
Well, answer me this, Farmer Jane. Why is it wise when El Mayor's quiet, but dull when I'm a-pondering?
Quiet ain't wisdom, Farmer Jim.
Well, sometimes it is.
Well, sometimes it ain't.
Oh, what you know about wisdom anyhow?
You take that back, Farmer Jim.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember that bit being in the short. That's funny.
In their darkest hour, the people of Olden Town stand behind their protector, waiting for his word.
I see you ain't got my gold. So what'll it be, Mayor? Pistola fight? Or the old silent treatment?
I vow to lay down my arms forever for the return of this innocent.
I ain't got the words. The great Mayor without pistolas? Your town will be wiped from the map in a month.
I have mi pueblo, mi familia, and they are strong in ways I am.
So I like the general Latin influence, like in the short. I don't know. It sort of feels like it comes out of nowhere. Could be a simple story about. I don't know. It's a nice flair of a little bit of I don't know, cultural diversity here that makes it stand a little bit. It grabbed me out of left field when I first saw it. It's really cool. Everything's all about abuelo and the familia, and I don't know. It's really interesting.
And they are strong in ways
Also, it sounds like the voice actor is not like he's like originally a Spanish speaker who's speaking English, and he speaks it all right, but you can see like a little bit of an accent there. And I love when people do it. I hate, usually it's the other way around. Whenever you see something when there's someone speaking Spanish, even though Breaking Bad is like my go-to example of that you have all these Spanish-speaking characters that speak perfect English and terrible Spanish, when it should be the other way around. Like characters should, if the character is like a Mexican drug dealer, he should have terrible English and a very good Spanish, but I don't know. Just something that happens. I think it's something that just ends up being because of whichever casting ends up, whatever casting ends up deciding. And here you have like very clearly the English is a little bit choppy, but that's cool. That's a lot. Yeah, it gives it a little bit of flair.
I am not. In ways you have yet to witness.
Oh, that shot. I'm not sure if we saw that shot in the other short, but I really love this. Like, I mean, it's a very simple cut and with like a wipe, but this feels amazing. The perspective, the crookedness of the shot. You can do almost perfect Spanish, but I live in a very Spanish-speaking area. It's something that happens. Like there are people. I've known people. I've met someone once who like, he had nothing to do with any sort of Latin heritage. He was actually more into the I don't know, like he had like more of an Arabic bloodline, and he spoke Persian and was very. And I met him. I even met him with Faye when we were back in school and stuff. And he was just amazing at speaking other languages. Like, we would tell him, say this, and just give him like a phrase in Spanish. And he would repeat the phrase, even though he didn't know at all what it meant. He replicated the sound so uncannily that it made it feel like he actually understood perfectly every single word. It was even, I remember when we discovered that, we told him to actually, hey, when another friend of ours comes by, tell him this. And we always say like very simple sentences like, hello. The German in, oh no, OBS Studio disconnected, something happened. Are we back? I think there was a little bit of a hiccup there. Have similar sounds. Japanese and Spanish have this. Maybe. Yeah, there are a couple of sounds. I feel like Japanese struggles a lot with R sounds. Was it R or was it L? No, with L sounds. Yeah, Japanese to Spanish, I think it struggles a lot with the L sound. And also with, in Spanish, we have like the hard R sound, like a, and that's, oh, the rolling of the R's. That's how you call it in English. Yeah, the rolling of the R, it's also something that a lot of people don't know how to do in other countries. Loss again, what's going on? Hello? It seems like my connection's going funky again, yeah. At least they're being shorter hiccups than before. Remember back when we would just stop the stream because it got terrible? But yeah. But well, going back to the gruff animation, I really love this shot. Like, a lot of diagonal lines, even the characters themselves and the weapon. I'm not sure. Maybe it was in the short, but I don't remember seeing this shot. I remember the one of the grandma. That is
That'll do it.
I found it funny that he just disappears. There's no like. I thought they would go with a tiny silhouette back here running, or I don't know. A little bit of perspective, simply just good. But I like the effect that the wood over here is affected by the speed of him running. It's nothing's moving, and then just You see this?
I don't know what I'd do
Recorded in
without
live action.
my ore.
Neither do I, Bonita. We're lucky he looks out for us.
And I always will.
So yeah, I guess he couldn't call this one Gruff because Gruff is the other one, and that has to be like a very awkward moment when I already called my short after the fictional TV show, so now I cannot call the fictional TV show the same way as my short. So now it's gonna have another name. That's a very silly, like, struggle to be fun to end up in, right? It's like, so yeah, what a funny naming issue. So connection's still fine, right? Yeah, it seems like it is, but I don't know why it was hiccuping here and there. We can take a look. Oh, so this is, it's really cool. He actually worked with Adam Savage. Let's go. I want to see if I can find Making Paper Talk. Gruff Dial. I don't know. There should be another, like, making of official teaser, Making Paper Talk, making a Western out of paper. Paper cuts real. There's got to be, I think there's shorts of how stuff was made then. Wait, this one's in Spanish? Or is my computer just translating stuff? Which one is, let's see. There is like an exchange, but there was a couple of moments where it felt like it was moving visual. I really want to see. Ah, no, it's short. I cannot do the frame by frame thing here. Ah, that sucks. Why you do shorts? Why? So, have like a sheet of paper with a little bit of white. Oh no, a sheet of metal with a little bit of white, and then you have probably magnetic sheets, either magnetic or just stock sheets of paper for the eyes. And then the mask itself is glued on top. It's connected to something and it moves. I'm not sure if that's manual or not. It's very interesting. Then go into the second. All right, good to know. So that's just a program, or well, it's just it's very pretty. That's on Hammer and Light. I have one of these set up for Evil right now. It's right there in the corner. I can see it from here. Tell Bonita and Bandit to emphasize a thing, a real thing. I'm going to get okay. Huh. Oh, look at that. It's like the hand sticking to the door, simply made with magnets and paper. And just by having like another sheet of metal on the door, which is pretty usual for this kind of doors. They have this, it's not a handle itself, but it's like a plaque, metal plaque that for people to push on, and it makes it feel natural and at the same time good. top of the head as well. This was just a general support. Black tie. And the set of gruff. Yeah, there's a lot of. From the casino scene, right? Look at all those details, like that tiny chain. Look at those fingers, creepy little, very squiggly, thin, skeletal fingers. This character. Look at that detail over here. I wonder what that is. Because it feels like an object that was repurposed for this. One piece of I don't know, maybe a plastic, a coaster or a mat, like a tablecloth. But it's not really cloth. It's maybe a silicone tablecloth. Not sure if there's another word for that because it feels weird to say silicone tablecloth. But it's cool, like repurposed thing. I really love when you use stuff for a repurposed sort of asset. The animator is very old and very experienced. This showing his hands. Oh. See, I didn't feel that old in the other shots. I mean, I didn't get to see very up closely. Or was it? Where is it? It's in this one. Doesn't look that old to me, honestly. But well, you're the one with a lot of hand reading experience.
While the props, places, and people of this paper short film are all handmade, I do often have to use visual effects to remove puppet and support rods from the footage.
Oh, that's really cool. But wait, this is the final shot? This must be like a test shot, right? It's not even in set.
But when I find a way to hide those, I much prefer that because that way what you see in the final film is completely unaltered. The performance was 100% in camera. It's a fun challenge to cheat my way out of extra computer work by just putting more thought into the in-camera illusion. That can be anything from hiding wires behind a character's head so they don't have to be removed later, or just building the puppets in such a way that their mechanics can be off-screen. So my rule of thumb is, if I can film it all in camera for real, do it. If I do have to cut and paste various things into a shot, I just try and make sure that they're all real. But whether it's smoke from a fog machine, mist spray,
So it was actually smoke with a fog machine.
To simulate a tire burnout, I'm always trying to figure out how to bring this story to life in front of the camera rather than in the computer. But at the end of the day, any tool that helps tell your story is a good one, so keep playing and keep making. Tool that helps tell your story is a good one, so keep playing and...
Oh. Interesting system. So there's a wire that pulls the head back. And I guess gravity is doing the rest of the movement, and then you only have to do the pulling back. Oh, he's young. Too much sun then. Definitely respect plans that reduce computer editing. Yeah, definitely. They do help a lot. When you sort something out and reduce the workload in the later process, it's very helpful.
Keep making. While the props, places, and people of this paper short film are all...
An amazing short film. I love this. No wonder what the studio in general has been up to. They're probably making another Something else, I would guess. I feel like this is the sort of thing that like one massive corporation would look at and will say, hey, can we make a Coca-Cola commercial in this style and I'll pay you like $5 million? And that would be incredibly helpful for the artist. But I don't know what they've been up to. Adventure of the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. Oh, it seems like they're going into full puppet animation. That's what I would feel out of this. Good gruff there. Gruff, gruff, gruff. Whoa. Really cool. It would be really cool to get to see them do more of three-dimensional puppetry. Hey, that's from Cinema Fantasma. I didn't work in that project, but this was the beginning of the year. They made this for a TV commercial. The majestic music Krieger is called Little Moments by Renoir Selson and Hemhood. That's what it says down here. You can read it down here. Little Moments, Renoir Selson, Hemhood. But yeah, this is from the studio in which I used to work. I could even show you that ad. Just really quick. Let's see. What was the name? Makura RDX. I don't even know the model. Makura at Sundance, maybe. Day one. Rhodes teaser. No, this is 2017. Let's just watch the... Oh, there it is. It's over here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get blasted for this one. That would be incredibly silly. Imagine being blasted for showing an ad. Isn't that what they usually pay for in these platforms?
Introducing the all-new Acura ADX.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Take your vibes and go. And go. It's not hard, it's easy. Listen, baby. Oh yeah, do what I do. Take your vibes and go. Go.
So yeah, it feels like they made like a lot of like different styles for the character or for the actress to drive through. This wasn't made where I used to work. The only thing that was made is up here. Wait, a little more here. So there's a little model. Same goes for animations of Evil for commercial interest. That is, maybe. I mean, that would be interesting. I feel like Evil itself doesn't have like a very well. I mean, stop motion itself is like a craft that's very known and stuff, but I feel like Evil doesn't have like a very specific new stylistic like direction. It's been more of like an exploration of how accurately could I recreate. I mean, there could be some sort of a puzzle there. That it's how accurate could I be able to portray like the anime figure into stop motion animation. I feel like that's what's been the approach for what I've been doing with Evil. And I feel like there's still a couple extra steps that need to be taken. But we're definitely figuring out more and more and getting closer. It feels like very interesting. more likely to blast you for admitting to using an ad blocker. I'm not using an ad blocker. I'm just moving the window to another one, and so I think we're fine. Yeah, this was made back where I used to work. However I feel, I don't know, because I wasn't there in the production of this one, but it feels like there was a lot of stuff cut out of this. Because the shots feel way too fast. Like, yeah, how many frames are those? Like 12? Well, no, not 12. Let's say, place your bets. I'm going for 36 frames. Yeah, 36 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, it's 16 frames. I went more than... Yeah, it's less than a second of a shot. It feels like someone cut out bits of this. I feel like no one in the right mind would make such a short shot. And at least not from the people that I know. So... But this is something that I do not think they would be doing. It feels more like something like whichever marketing agency got to make this ended up cutting out because they need to save like seconds. Shave off seconds. This puppet was huge. I saw a little bit of a making of out there, and it's a very, very big puppet. They also had it in the festival. But also feels like it's not connecting properly, like they cut too many frames. Like look at here, you've got the tongue still touching the back of the van. And in the next shot, the creature is already all the way back. His nose is at the height of the mountain, so it feels like we're here at League of Legends. I'm impressed with yeah, sure, of course. That would be very funny to end up doing. I don't know why League of Legends is such like a meme in the VTubing community. Like, oh no, League of Legends, no. And it would be very funny if they ended up. Did you see that Riot Games actually donated in Mori Calliope's stream because she said that if she made a certain amount of money, she would play League of Legends, and then they donated into her stream like, "Hey, hope you get to play League of Legends soon enough." That was pure gold, pure gold. Oh, this one. Oh, I don't know. Then maybe it's two creatures. I think this is the one that was huge. I don't remember. Yeah, all of these shots, they feel much shorter than they should be. Feels like someone cut a lot. Because there's no anticipation. It's just like straight to the movement. It feels weird. Yeah, like that. You see the creature pop in front of the car, but it's not really. I don't know. Everything in this feels like it's cut way too fast and it's not connecting.
Take your vibes and go.
There's the end. We go back to reality or something. But yeah. So yeah, that's back from the
Take your vibes and go.
It's a little bit fast. Oh, also, we could also talk about that. There's a new Women Wearing Shoulder Pads trailer. We could take a look at that. Let's hope I don't get blasted either. Blah blah blah. Few of them even actually stream their games. Probably told every person doing each of the styles to shop 10 seconds, the design a few seconds. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Like everyone made, yeah, I don't know, a longer version, and then just butchered it and made it as short as possible. Feels weird. We don't see the neutral. Let's take a look. Da, da. Where? No, not the live stream. Da, da, da. Here it is. I like that there's a little bit of a blend with live action shots. It's really cool. Right, so are you set? So do you know what the limits of free use when watching stuff on YouTube? Because this is a 1 minute long video. Maybe we could pull it off and just let it run all the way and then go back and talk about it. But I'm not sure if someone here knows where the line is drawn. That would be appreciated. And if not, we could just do the same and just keep pausing every couple seconds. But I like to, my favorite way of watching stuff is just fully watch it and then go back and do the breakdown and stuff. Yeah, I keep making look, but keep forgetting. It's fine.
El centro del mundo. Heme aquí, a punto de hacer que ese mundo gire a mi alrededor.
Power. Money.
¿Estás bien? Claro que estoy bien. Soy rica.
Desire.
¡Cuál madre está la pistola! ¡Cuál madre está lo peor!
From Cinema Fantasma and creator Gonzalo Cordova comes a show you'd only expect from Adult Swim. A cautionary.
Find it very interesting that jumping shot feels like it's got a very weird frame rate. I'm not sure if they made something weird because of the editing or if it's intentional, or if that is how it goes in the final show.
A cautionary tale about ambition.
Esta tía es capaz de cualquier cosa. Homicidio, prosa lírica, cualquier cosa.
And obsession.
¿Quién ordenó estas artesanías monstruosas?
Todo Ecuador. La mitad de nuestros clientes la odian, la otra mitad la ama, pero todos quieren que arden llamas.
Lovers.
Si no puedo vivir en tus brazos, me conformaré con morir en ellos.
And
those shots. I don't think I definitely didn't do this one, but those very close shots were very hard to make because the eyes were really hard to keep in place, and especially with the glasses on. I remember I didn't make this one. I just want to add that note, but I remember making shots that had the camera close to the main character. It was a big hassle. So this one feels like it must have been very annoying to animate.
And butchers. Compassion and cuisine.
Mi especialidad, cuisito asado.
Women wearing shoulder pads. Premieres August 17th at midnight on Adult Swim. Next day on HBO Max.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've not got a lot of insight, like extra insight to give you on this one. We could still sort of analyze it, but yeah, I didn't get to work in a lot past the first episode. So the first episode, I think I've already told you, but in case you're new or something, or you weren't back in the stream where we talked about women wearing shoulder pads, I worked on the series, but I worked on the pilot in the first episode, which was animated a lot of time before the rest of the episodes, because it was just like a test. And that was made, I think a little bit before, was it before COVID or something? I don't know, it was a very long time ago. No, it was after COVID. Oh my god, I don't remember. No. My mind is getting all fussy. But yeah, it's been... No, I think it was before COVID. Oh, I'm not sure. And yeah, we did that. No, wait, COVID was back then. No, then it must have been after COVID. But it was like a very long time ago. Then a lot of time passed between, that sort of stuff of executives authorizing the project and that sort of very slow processes that I shouldn't be speaking a lot about because I might get thrown in jail for breaking NDAs or something. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna shut up now. But yeah, that's why I ended up working mostly only on the first episode. Oh yeah, it wasn't COVID. I just stopped working for a while because of something I might tell you later on. But yeah, so it was around February 2022, I think. And that's when it was animated, but then it was like in a break for a long time before it got greenlit. And once it got greenlit, they made the rest. But when they made the rest, I was already too busy working on the movie that's still being released. Oh, by the way, I think this Sunday, if anyone here is in Canada by any chance, there's gonna be a screening of the movie this Sunday in the festival that we saw before, the Fantasia Festival in, I don't remember where, it's in Montreal, I think. Yeah, I don't think, from what I know from my viewers, that I have any Canadian viewers yet, but only if, it's gonna happen. Eventually we'll have the movie, most likely somewhere else. But yeah, just remember that the movie's not coming out, it's gonna be screened in Canada soon. Well, no, the day after tomorrow, that's more than soon. But yeah, so the thing is, I cannot give you like very deep insight on this because most of this I did not work in. I worked on the scene that we saw before. Montreal is Eastern North America. Is it? Well, so that's a geography fail of mine. But yeah. So but yeah, we could watch it anyways and just talk about it. I remember what I did do was read the script for all the episodes, so I know the general story, but I haven't seen the final project. So I'm very interested in seeing how it turned out. But I still got the insight of being able to tell you like all those little details. I remember how the puppets work, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not gonna have that much insight on the puppets themselves. Honestly, kind of just really wide. Yeah. I've only heard but never read. Fair use is limited to 10 to 15. Oh, then I already screwed up a lot. All right, I'll tell you if we get blasted again. Fun stuff. The shadow suggests that the eyes were hovering somehow, huh? And the other one? Where was it? This one? It's not that they were hovering. It's that, well, yeah, it feels, this is the reason why I wanted to try the sphere eyes with evil. Because it's not that the eyes are hovering, but it's a magnet. It's a very thin sheet of like magnetic, like a magnetic, it's not a tape, but a magnetic, how do you call it? Just a magnetic sheet of plastic. You've seen them. It's like the general magnets that they give you at pizza shops and that you end up putting in your fridge. I'm not sure if that's something that was only done like in the past. That's not something people do anymore. But generic flat magnets that people usually put in their fridges. It's one of those, and they just cut circles and they paint the circles and then just add a little bit of a glossy finish to it. But because you have this tiny piece of plastic on top of the eye, it's not part of the eye itself. It's like a little bump. It's a cylinder on top of the surface of the eye. And that, especially for this kind of very, 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 very close shots, breaks the illusion way too much because you can see the iris cast a shadow on the eye, and that shouldn't happen because the iris should be a negative space in the eye itself. So this is exactly the reason why I began working on Evil in the first place, because I wanted to test how do I make a puppet with actual real eyes. I've told you this like 1,000 times, but I'm not gonna get tired of telling you, and especially because I'm proud of how it turned out, even though I still need to sort some details out. But yeah, this was the reason, because I mean, it's fine. It works. It's not really that disturbing, but it breaks a little bit of the illusion of the character, and that's why you're all, oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I mean, it's not terrible, and I'm not gonna be sort of criticizing a lot, but it's just something that never really vibed with me. Also, if you have to be very, this is not something that you notice when you're actually watching, but can you see how the eye is not moving, but it's rotating? You can see it rotate from one point to the other. That's the sort of details that would sort of escape the animation, and they wouldn't feel great. So that's why I ended up wanting to try something that looks a little more like, yeah, like real eyes.
And
but yeah,
butchers.
It's really cool. I didn't see a lot of this. I didn't get to work on a lot of these shots, but I wonder if there's even one here that I did make. I'm not sure if this one, I think maybe, I'm not even sure. Always gotta keep pushing forward. Yeah, just the twisty pupil. Yes. And don't get me wrong, Evil's pupils do twist a lot too, and they give me a lot of, they're very annoying because of that. But it doesn't feel that weird. Well, it's not that it doesn't feel that weird. No, I think sometimes it feels even weirder, because you cannot rotate your eye like in that sort of axis. It would be uncanny. Imagine if you could twist your eyes like a clock. That would be incredibly disturbing. But yeah, maybe, just maybe, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna make any promises, but there's a non-zero chance that I animated this shot, but I don't remember. I remember I did bits in this airport scene, but I don't remember if I did this one. Evil's pupils don't roll. I don't know. We'll see once we get like the full. Once I show you the full exported versions, you might be able to see if Evil's pupils did roll or make any weird movements. I think the longest shot of pipe, Gottlieb pipe was a little bit, because I needed to make it very fast, because there was no way I was gonna finish it if I went like full on detailed and stuff in that one. I feel like I had to let go a little bit with how the eyes sometimes move, because sometimes they move not only because of when I try to move it, but whenever I just switch a mouth, like the mouth will, because the mouth has magnets too, I feel like it pulls the eyes in weird ways, and when you put the other mouth, it might pull it even more, and yeah, it feels weird. But it's one of those defects that I'm trying to sort out, because once I get this, once I start getting all of these tiny details like narrowed down and fixed, I feel like we can make amazing puppets. Not that, I don't know, I feel like too braggy saying that, but it's not that like Evil as she is not amazing. Yeah, I feel like she's pretty amazing as she is right now, but oh, we're so close of having like perfect anime VTuber figure that works the way it should. And I'm still working in all those little details, and I feel like with a little bit of work and a little bit of time, we will be able to reach that sort of quality and level, and I'll be very happy to reach that together with you guys. They may have tilted, but they didn't. Oh, no, yeah. They didn't go full 360 barrel. All right, you got a point there. You do have a point there. They do not fully roll, but they did tilt a couple of times, and there were a couple of frames in the pipe shot that I remember I had to let it go and not fix them, even though there were many moments where I did like go back and sort it out and fix it. Science and art is all about building up about this person. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so non-zero chance that I animated this shot, but I do not remember, so don't quote me on that. Yeah, this is all in other episodes. In this is from the first episode, but I didn't get in that one. This shot, dear, I don't remember. No, but I think this shot I didn't get to do it. Did I? I remember there was a walk cycle I did. So I think it's the one before this, because they walk towards the window. Sad the dog wasn't in the trailer. Oh, no, I think I'm kind of glad that the dog wasn't in the trailer. No, we're not getting the dog in the trailer. No. No. Oh, God. The dog's gonna be out in the wild eventually. It's not gonna be good. But yeah, I remember I did animate the walking cycle. Delphine, stop. I remember animating the walking cycle from them it was like a couple of steps back and walking towards this window. And I think they might have cut it out of the episode, because I remember the animation itself had a lot of sort of this dead space in between, like, well, if they needed to walk from back here where they were. So here's like right outside the exit of the plane, and the window's all the way back here. I think this character is looking through the window, so imagine the distance. And I remember I animated the whole walking, which is fine. I've got no problem with that, but it's still a little bit of like useless seconds of animation. They don't tell anything important to the story, so you can sort of cut them out and go straight into them being next to the window. I'm not sure how much of that shot got cut out. I don't remember. And I'm not sure if they even did like a further edit down the line once I was not involved in this project. But yeah, like, no, this is not the gate. This is another thing. But I remember doing that bit. There's another bit that was lost in the other shot of her, like when she talks to the young little girl actress. There was another very long shot when she says, "I don't want any tears on my set," and she stands up. I remember she stood up and she walked all the way to the little girl, and she was very far away. It was like 6 or 7 steps, and I did animate all of those steps, but they were moved. And I don't blame them, you know. It's like, it's useless. It's useless seconds of animation that tell you nothing. However, if you're trying to run a business, I feel like you should try to reduce those sort of empty spaces. It's just work that you're gonna end up paying, and I mean, I got paid for doing those, you know, but you're not gonna use it. So whoever did, especially the special effects department, because that shot was shot from the back, the rig must have been very hard to erase too. So imagine you've got something, you've already got your animator to do the shot, you got your photographer and your lighting artist to light up the shot, which takes about half a day of work, maybe a little bit less, depends on the shot, but let's say half a day of work. Then you got the job of the animator, which is me, working on that walk cycle and working on it, let's say 3 days on it. That sounds a little bit steep, but let's say 3 days just to be like generous. So we've got half a day's work of the lighting artist and the photography artist, 3 days of the animation artist, like doing the whole walk cycle from one point to the other, and then maybe 5 or 6 days of the effects department removing the rig from the puppet, that's stuck in the back of the, like in the spinal cord. Oh, something that's stuck like in the back of the spinal cord, and it's very hard to remove because you end up with like a big blob of mush, and it's I don't know. It's just it ends up being too troublesome. I mean, I don't mind that the seconds got cut off, but it feels like you should try and avoid that for the sake of everyone. It will just save you time and money and effort and that sort of thing. But yeah, what would I know about that? I don't know why did I get into rambling about that stuff. But yeah, so this sequence, I think that's pretty much everything I animated in the show. The scene with the little actress and the scene in the airport.
Money.
I don't remember anything else.
¿Bien? Claro que estoy bien. Soy rica.
Desire.
¡Con madre es una pistola!
There's something that's sort of concerning me here. I'm not sure if I'm... Doesn't it feel like she's not focused? Like, I feel like her face looks a little bit soft. Like maybe her business likely and nevertheless in many art projects, so good to know. Yeah, I mean, it's what we spoke about before. Like, there are limitations, and if you want to bypass all of the limitations and make your story feel as complete as possible, you need to be incredibly efficient. You need to, so if your character is gonna talk and you want to make them talk because that's part of your story, it's like, you need to be aware that that's gonna be much harder than having them be silent, and you have to pull it off. That was bad translation in the text. And this one? Yeah, con madre. It's... I guess it's because... I'm not sure what well, no, they could have gone with something like, oh shit, it's a gun, right? Maybe it's just... I think they might be subtitles that are sort of simpler for the trailer. Maybe the actual show has the more accurate subtitles. I wouldn't know. But that's probably something that I'm pretty sure this wasn't even made in the animation studio. Like the subtitles were probably done over in, well, yeah, and probably the Adult Swim offices and stuff. So that's would be a them problem. But don't you feel like she's not in focus, like not sharp enough? I feel like she's blurry, slightly blurry. Because even you can see, like the mouth is digital, so you can see the mouth sharp enough, but the nose and the eyes, they feel slightly soft to me. A little bit off. I don't know. I like those like live action shots. It's fun.
From Cinema Fantasma and creator Gonzalo Cordova comes a show you'd only expect.
That sure's a little bit weird.
Only.
Why would you hold a knife like this? I feel like there's no reason to do it. Well, no, yeah, the thing is, it might feel different because you could think that this is the hand of another character and then it might make sense. But if I remember correctly from the script, this would be the hand of the same character that's on the knife. So imagine the pose. You would need to be like kneeling next to the tomato, like eye level with the tomato, and then grab the knife and put it in front of your face. Feels weird. Claro que sí, but Spanish is bad, but not that bad. Yeah, it's weird. I hope it's just a mistranslation for the trailer because they wanted to make it simpler for some reason. By the way, yeah, I'm very interested. If you that are not, I believe, are not Spanish-speaking, like native Spanish speakers, what do you think about having a show that's in Spanish with English subtitles? I mean, does it work? I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's a very weird relationship. Well, no, it's something that has changed with time, because now we are kind of used to watching like Japanese anime with subtitles and stuff. So maybe it's not that weird. But I feel like there's a big gap when we are used, like Spanish speakers are used to watching stuff in English with subtitles, something that we've grown accustomed to. But watching Spanish stuff with subtitles, I feel like it could feel weird. Yeah, exactly. It feels like you're trying to make this shot possible. But that sort of pulls me out of the illusion of the story, right? It feels too cinematic, if that makes any sense. It feels slightly forced. But I don't know. I never saw the whole thing of this sequence, so maybe it might be justified somehow. I live it, but instead of watch Spanish TV with subtitles, then, I mean, if there is a market who actually watches Spanish TV with subtitles, I think it could work. I don't know. I'm very intrigued about that. I feel like it's a very unusual show. Definitely a very, very unusual show. So I'm intrigued in how people are going to perceive it. So, I don't know, it feels weird. If Locale is based in a Spanish-speaking area, makes sense to me. Generally watch European stuff. Yeah, I mean, the story takes place in Ecuador, right? So it's mostly a Spanish-speaking country. And I don't think they speak a lick of English in the whole show. It's just Spanish, I believe. But yeah, it will always have the subtitles, I guess.
From Adult Swim.
This also feels weird. I don't know why she feels so glossy. Hands, like silicone hands, character hands are usually not this glossy.
A cautionary tale about ambition.
Esta tía es capaz de cualquier cosa. Homicidio, prosa lírica, cualquier cosa.
And obsession.
¿Quién ordenó esto?
This is from the first episode.
Las artesanías monstruosas.
I got to see it.
Ecuador, la mitad.
I like this shot, like how she falls down, it's really cool. It's very organic, awkward pose. Maybe a little bit more of a oomph when she falls down, but I really like it.
La mitad de nuestros clientes la odian, la otra mitad la ama, pero todos quieren que arda en llamas.
I like the fire, like how they solved the fire effect with sort of, feels like paper, like transparent yellowish paper. There's a niche market. I think the thing is not, you don't want to pull the people who want to watch telenovelas to see this. It's more like you want the audience of Adult Swim to come and watch a parody of your mom's telenovela kind of thing. I feel like that's the approach here. I don't know. I'm not, I don't really know, but I feel like that's the sort of niche they're going for. It's not that you want to watch this because you love telenovelas and that's why you would watch this in Adult Swim. That doesn't sound like the right approach. I feel like it would be like, I've seen other people watch telenovelas and I would love to see like a Adult Swim sort of twist and spin and play with the tropes of a silly telenovela. I don't know. Like it feels like that's where the spark or the hook lies.
Lovers.
From the first episode. Oh. This is another live action shot.
Vivir en tus brazos. Me conformaré con
This is
morir
the
en
guy's shot. I don't know, we are the ones to learn more Spanish. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. There's always a lot. It's not. I feel like it's not that hard, but I'm not sure. I've been speaking it since I was born, so yeah.
And butchers. compassion.
This shot feels weird. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's got like a bit of motion blur or something. But it feels very weird.
And cuisine.
Mi especialidad.
They missed the mouth. Look at that. She has no mouth and she must scream. Oh no, you cannot see it because my chat's in the way. Right, I'm gonna hide the chat for a second. Look, she has no mouth and she must scream. I think they missed this one. Maybe it's just a test shot from the trailer and they'll fix it in the final one, but I just noticed that. I'm trying to see, maybe there's a very subtle line drawn there, but no, it's not. She's got absolutely no mouth. That's weird. Well, no, it's not weird. I know exactly how and why this happened, but oh, that's a little bit of a slip up there. All right, back to chat.
Mi especialidad. Cuisito asado.
So yeah, there's a live action shot. Wait a second, maybe I can recognize those faces. Yeah, I think I know. I most likely know this person, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I know this person. There's another shot.
Especialidad. Cuisine.
And this one. Yeah.
Cuisito asado.
Women wearing shoulder pads. Premieres August 17th at midnight on Adult Swim. Next day on HBO Max.
So yeah, Women Wearing Shoulder Pads coming out soon enough. Let's see how that goes. I'm very interested in how... Yeah, I'm intrigued in how people are going to perceive it, because it's so weird. It's a very unusual show. I like it, but I'm not sure if audiences will like it. And it's also like, there's like a bigger gap for me, because I feel like there's a cultural split between the American audience and the Spanish-speaking audience, and how this could be perceived. So I'm really intrigued in how this will turn out. Did they play on Kui? What do you mean? What do you mean with that? They play on Kui and
17th at midnight.
The song or something? Kui.
Women wearing
shoulder pads. So it's gonna be interesting. Let's see how this goes. And also I'm wondering, is it gonna release all in one? No, Adult Swim and Max usually does it like episodic, right? Like one episode a week. They play on Kui and Kui. The ghost thing? Kui. I don't know what you... And the ghost thing? Kukui? I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry. Kukui. Let's Google that real quick in my phone. Folkloric character. Oh, I don't know anything about this. Not at all. The looming it up seems like to be a mythical creature as an American. That's cool. Yeah, well, let's see how it turns out. Let's see how the audience likes it. It's gonna be interesting. El Cucuy, yeah, I just Googled it too. Don't know what that is, but might search. It's a Juarez thing? Maybe. But well, okay, I mean, I guess we could leave it at that. Still, it's getting a little bit late, and I'm still like a little bit jet laggy from the what was the name of the game? Bokura game. From the Bokura Let's Play. So maybe I should catch some C's, and that way I might be ready to get to animation tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm still not fully certain. I need to check up on family and stuff to see if I don't have to help someone out or something. But if I've got the evening free, we would most likely get to animating around the same time, maybe a little bit later than usual, not starting at 11, maybe at 12, maybe at 1, I don't know. YouTube is my TV. Yeah, it's sort of mine too. I spend too much time on YouTube. But yeah, so we could we could have another stream tomorrow. I've already got planned what we can do. Oh, now that I remember, I need to finish a very simple asset for that. But I guess we could end stream for tonight and get ready for tomorrow. It's going to be fun. You know the drill. We're going to be spending most of the day here. You don't need to be there all day, but you're welcome to be as long as you want and you can. I know some of you work. I know some of you, sometimes your devices are not helping you and stuff. Doesn't matter. It's fine. I'm going to show it and share it anyway. But yeah, you know the drill. Hopefully this will be the first time we get to do 2 animation streams, one Saturday, one Sunday. And yeah, let me know anything else. You can also, if there's anything you would like to add or ask or something you'd like to send to, you just send it in the Discord. We can talk about it on stream or maybe even in Discord itself. But yeah, I think we can wrap it up for today. Yeah, remember, you can always ask me anything you want about all of this funny stop motion stuff and thingies. But well, so let's meet. Well, we'll be streaming tomorrow. See you there. I'm still not certain on the hour, but I'll get you to know as soon as I can. And yeah, let's have some fun. So see you. Have fun. Take care. Thank you for staying. Thank you for watching the stream. And let's see how everything goes in our animation stream. So I'm gonna start closing up stuff. Let's go to this window over here. Hello. I feel weird. Like I still haven't got used to having like chat on screen and all this stuff, but it's at the same time I feel like I'm starting to both understand it and like it. I really like this sort of, yeah, like me chatting and having the stream, like the chat over here and talking. It's looking cool. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting to like this. And well, no, I already liked it before, but I'm starting to like enjoy all the bits and pieces and processes. But yeah, so see you tomorrow. It'll be fun. Take care. And let's see. Is there anyone to raid tonight? Let's see. Let me check. Who's out there? Cleo and Mari. Guess let's go with Cleo. She's playing Warhammer or Uma Musume. So we got Cleo with Warhammer and Mari with Uma Musume. So, any preference? We haven't gone with Cleo in a while, so let's try that. Not this one, blah blah blah. Alright. So, bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. See you on our next stream. And take care, everyone. Thank you for staying by. So goodbye. I'm going to go real quick to our ending screen. And then we'll call it a night. So see you, Dolphin. See you, Robot. See you, Krieger. I'm not sure if you're still around, but see you, Krieger, in case you're around. And take care, everyone.